my shoes, world on my shoulder, heart full of blues. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been real bad. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt.
Welcome everyone. Happy Saturday night. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get Jen to come in and say hi. You guys like that music? You like that music, Glenn? Hey Jen, come say hi real quick. Jen's gonna say hi. She's got a friend over tonight. I've been covering this case. I've been researching this case quite a bit recently, but haven't gone live because I don't like to speculate. I like to have something to go live with. And I thought I was close until this came out today, blew my mind. And I wanted to cover the news because I've got a lot of information on Michael McKee and stuff that I've looked into. You coming, Jen? Coming to say hi, Jen? You got taco all over your face? That's all right. Have a seat.
Thanks.
Say, hey, here's Jen. She won't be with us
Hey guys.
the whole night tonight.
No.
Wanted her to come in and say hi.
I'm alive.
And you've been moderately following the case that we're talking about tonight. Hi,
Rock and Robin. Sorry, I noticed.
Any thoughts as we go into this? I go into this.
Well, it's quite a shock, right?
I was surprised.
The ending's quite a shock.
I was extremely surprised.
But do all these people know what you're talking about?
Yep,
right?
the Tepe, Spencer and Monique Tepe murders in Ohio.
I'll just say hi to everybody.
Sure.
Hey, Smoky Mountain Robin. Hey, Eve. Hey.
What about Glenn? You forgot?
Oh, yeah, but I was trying to remember what. Oh, yeah. Security guard Glenn.
Bouncer.
Oh, sorry. Bouncer Glenn.
And Murder Most Southern. Cheryl.
Thing is, I don't know a lot about this case, and that's probably why I'm.
What was your first thought when you heard about it? What was your first thought when you heard about it?
Well, you seemed surprised at the outcome, but I wasn't.
You thought it was the ex from the beginning?
Yeah, but come on now. We always talk about Occam's razor, right?
Hey, Teresa. Hey, Jans.
Guys.
So you thought that was the simplest explanation. See, the thing is,
seems to be, right?
I don't know. I'm going to be showing everyone what I saw about the ex on online comments, and I didn't think it was Occam's razor. I didn't think it was obvious, but you thought it was.
Well, I think any of these cases, you have to start out with that.
Start with the past relationship
and try to disprove that.
Yeah,
disprove it before you prove something else.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Okay.
So can I get back to my tacos?
I'll let you get back to your tacos.
Alrighty. Have a good night. Oh, my friend wants me back. Here we go. Hey, Jan's Bam, bam. I like
Bam Bam. You can
Bam.
shut the door on the way out. Did you? Brits. I'll tell you guys. I'm gonna jump into it real quick. Not too much at the intro here. I haven't gone live in like, I don't know, a week and a half or so because we've been so busy with the Jennifer Elliott case. That video was a nightmare to edit because when I got home, and members have seen the video, you guys will see it tomorrow. Something new came out, something crazy came out with that case that surprised me, and so I've had to spend extra time researching it before publishing it. It's done now, and at the same time, I've been researching this case of the Ohio dentist murders, and it was something where I'll show you. I was digging into. I didn't think it was the ex. I'll be honest with you guys, because of the comments that were being said online about him, about people who knew him. It just didn't seem like the obvious answer to me. The slightly more obvious, they looked like a happily married couple for one thing, and everyone said, "Hey, CM Trucker, good to see you." They look like a happily married couple, but as you guys have seen in past cases like this, people who appear to be happily married on the surface, there's some stuff going on in the back. I dug like crazy into each of them and looked in their all of their associates. They each had a long list of associates listed under their records, which just means associates under, like, if you look at Truth Finder or any of those background checks, public records searches, just means it's people you've either lived somewhere with or created public records that are connecting two people together. So you're associated to that person in some way. And so I went through that list and I found like all of them on social media, and I was digging for, I really thought there was some kind of, on either side, some kind of relationship outside the marriage, and either a husband found out or was the guy who was part of the relationship that wanted to end their relationship. That's the direction I was going. And so when this came out, I was shocked. I'm going to take a look quickly at, hold on a second. Where do I want to start? I might look right at the latest news and the arrest record. Just one second. Let me get this pulled up here. Actually, you know what? For those of you, how many am I not here? I'm here. Can you not hear me or see me? Where did I go? You mean for the past week? Been a little busy. I want to actually show everyone where this started. Which of you have, can you give me a 1 if you have not been following the Ohio dentist case in Ohio, the murders of the Ohio dentist and his wife, Spencer and Monique? Give me a 1 if you have not followed the case. There's not much to cover because what happened is only happened December 30. So, okay, we've got 1-1. Okay, so for those of you potentially joining later, watching this later, I'm going to share real quick what this case was all about and what happened. Share screen. So Spencer and Monique, I wish I could, I don't know how to correctly pronounce their last name. I've been seeing Tepe or Tepe or whatever. Oh, wow, we got a lot of ones. Okay. Gosh, so for those of you who haven't followed this case, this dentist in Ohio, his name's Spencer, and his wife were shot to death on December 30th. This was in Columbus, Ohio. And they had 2 small children. The children were untouched. And that's important, I guess, if you go later to what happened today, that the children were untouched. I guess it makes sense now that we know who they arrested. But they were murdered in their home. Spencer was shot multiple times. Oh, don't apologize for being late, Jenna. Spencer was shot multiple times. It happened on the 30th, December 30th, between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Detectives said they shared what they called recovered footage, and so they captured footage after the shooting that happened early morning of this guy walking by. I'm going to show you guys the footage in a second. I watched that video. I was obsessed with this case, you guys. Even though I didn't go live, like I said, I don't like speculating live. I want something to go live with, something important. I don't just love covering. I don't like covering just speculation. But I watched this video a million times looking for a sign of his face. Is he white? Is he not? You know, his height, his gait, the way he walks. And I'm sure tons of other people out there too. And so I'm going to show you that video. This guy was seen right after the shootings walking by the front of the alley near the Tep's house in the early hours of December 30. He was seen walking by. It was a strange video. He's got his hood up. He's obviously trying to hide. I'm going to show you guys that video right here. This is what the police released, and the police asked for the public's help in identifying who this person was. He does have a weird walk. I noticed he has a different kind of walk to him, and there's a slight flash. I thought he was a white guy because there's a brief moment here. You know, I'm curious how many of you will catch it, where the video captures like just a piece of his face, and I could have been imagining things. But this was that coverage. This was that footage that the Columbus police released.
Police releasing new video of a person of interest in connection to the murders of an Ohio dentist and his wife, both found shot to death in their home. The video shows a person walking in the alley near the home of 37-year-old Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife, 39-year-old Monique, during the time frame of the murders, which police say happened between 2 and 5 a.m. last Tuesday.
It just really makes no sense as to how somebody could do this.
And this morning, the couple's family is speaking out.
What kind of person can take two parents away from such young?
By the way, Rob is the brother-in-law. People were even accusing him. So when people were throwing out accusations, and I'm going to show you some of those accusations and why I actually didn't think initially that it was the ex. Hey, Sandra, thanks for joining. The reason I didn't think it was the ex was because of what people were saying about the ex and how the likelihood of it being him, you'll see what I mean when we look at the details. It just didn't seem likely. People were accusing Rob even. There was a crime channel that accused this guy even. So that's just what happens in social media on these cases. Accusations get thrown out. Rob even got accused.
Children and just two beautiful people away from this earth.
The couple's bodies discovered in their home a week ago. Their two young children inside, but unharmed. Police responding after Dr. Tepe's boss called authorities asking for a wellness check when he didn't show up for work.
Tepe, that's how you pronounce it. And also people accused the boss because the boss lives in Florida. A lot of people were saying because he made a second 911 call. There was a bunch of speculation around even the owner of the dental office. Like the accusations were insane and there was no basis for it, in my opinion. And that's why I didn't go live, you guys, on this case, because it's like I want to have something like actually points to the timing and something solid. I hate putting out speculation. We have something solid today. That's why I decided to go live finally. And I'm going to show you some of the research that I was doing. I'm going to show you the background on Michael, where he lived, his criminal history. Yeah. Which movie do you want me to play for you?
It's called Martyrs.
I promised everyone I would play movies for them from my computer. It's called Martyrs.
Martyrs.
Martyrs. 2015.
Oh, is it 2015?
This is the one. I don't. 2015. Looks like it's a horror movie. Sorry, everyone.
Is it 2015? Martyrs. 2007.
Oh, great. Hold on a second. Sorry, everyone. Give me a second. Jen, I'm gonna play this one because it's the only Martyrs I can find.
I'll rent it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the video because I want to show you guys why I thought
Their home.
initially it was a white person. If you watch really closely.
Police releasing new video of a person of interest in connection to
Sorry, that's where it was. And I don't know if it's number
Just
one,
in
his
connection
weird gait. She's with a friend.
of
Jenna.
interest in connection to the murders of an Ohio dentist and his wife, both found shot to death in their home. The video shows a person walking in the alley near the
I swear, so many glimpses of the face. I thought, like right here, you can see some white. And he's got, it looks like he's got something on his face. That to me looks like a white guy. Um, so I thought it was a white person, but it could have been a reflection. There's snow. His weird gait could have been the snow. So you don't want to assume anything based on this grainy video, but it was fascinating to me, and this drew me in. This case drew me in big time. So we're going to get to today's news. What came out today was the ex-husband of Monique got arrested earlier today, and I've got the complaint and the criminal I've got the record of the arrest and the complaint that describes the details around how they traced that video that you saw was the beginning, and it shows what the police did to track it all the way to Michael. I think they've got solid evidence at this point. This is the case information. You can see it's the warrant was issued today, 1:10 in Columbus. I'm going to show you his address where he lives. It's a really nice neighborhood, actually. And apparently he's also a doctor, but you can see there are 2 murder charges, 2 murder offenses here. Warrant issued 1:10. He got his footprints, basically intake, and he's obviously in jail at the moment. And I was able to I finally found a news website that had the actual complaint, and that gave more details. The complaint from the Franklin County Municipal Court. I'm going to zoom in on this. Michael McKee, 2100 North Lincoln. Charge of murder. Complainant being duly sworn states that the above defendant on or about 30th day of December did knowing cause the death of another, to wit, Spencer Lewis Tepe, by means of shooting him with a firearm. And this is the arresting officer, I believe, Russ Weiner. And the details of probable cause are right here. No, the children were with her current husband. That's what didn't make any sense. They got divorced in 2017. This couple was married for 5 years and had their own children. So the motive is so not, I don't get it. They didn't have children. There were people accusing, early on, there were people saying that there was alleged abuse. I'm going to show you proof that that wasn't the case. I don't get the motive. I don't get why this guy who was married to her so long ago ended up doing this. But this is how, yeah, exactly. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's going to be fascinating to watch this trial, because what's the motive? What is the motive of this guy? Unless he was obsessed. Actually, someone made a comment to me earlier, like 15 minutes ago, I was talking to Jen and her friend, and there was one theory that was put out there that maybe, and I hate to say this is allegedly, I'm not accusing Monique of anything. You don't accuse people after they passed, but the theory could be maybe there was a affair going on with her ex, and he didn't like the fact that maybe she went back to him, and there's got to be a story. I'm totally speculating, you guys. I hate doing that. There's got to be a story behind this, and that's the only thing I can think of. I know. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. How did the police track him down? This gives so much information, and I'm so glad this was released publicly, made publicly available. On December 30th at 9:57 a.m., Columbus police patrol officers were dispatched to 1411 North 4th Street on a check on the well-being of Dr. Spencer Tepe, who had not shown up for work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children were found inside the home unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic number 7 responded and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. It could have been a long harbored resentment for years and years and years, I suppose. Yeah, maybe he was secretly watching this wonderful relationship over the years, over and over. Maybe he just never fell out of love, and it could be that at some point something made him snap. Here's what happened though. We're gonna go from that video that came out to how the police tracked him. Columbus Police Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. During the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. They said they were able to identify the suspect. So when they released that video, it may not have been that long afterwards that they were able to identify the person. The suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. So they also must have gotten surveillance footage of a vehicle arriving in the neighborhood and then that same vehicle taking off. And they probably knew from the timing that that's got to be the vehicle this person walking used to arrive and leave. Detectives, here's the clincher, and they nailed him here. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. They proved he had the vehicle before and that he was in possession of the vehicle after. Obviously, that's why they got the warrant. I mean, that's like solid evidence right there. If they connected him to the vehicle, in possession of the vehicle that was seen at the location of the homicides before they occurred and after the vehicle leaving, he's gonna have a hard time. He's gonna have a hard time with that one, getting out of that one. They've nailed them, in my opinion. Now it's just a matter of understanding motive. James Thomas was the police officer. Okay. Here's the thing. When we start talking about motive and why this would even happen, why he would do something like this. I want to show you guys real quick. Michael McKee's, I'm going to scroll down because I don't want to, even though he's arrested, I don't want to dox the guy with all his addresses and everything, but his criminal record, you'll see. This is his criminal record before this happened. And it just raises more questions. All traffic violations: failure to obey a highway sign, driving under suspension, failure to have vehicle inspected, speed. It's all traffic violations. There's a very old, I think, DUI or not even DUI, drinking while operating, 2011, many years ago. Nothing significant in the record before this. You can see, though, obviously, now he has a murder charge. There's no criminal record. Maybe it was a mental break. He had no criminal record. It's crazy to think that a guy like this, who had no record of anything, and there's a really good article that talks about him. Like, it's actually titled, it's from the Columbus Dispatch. It's titled, "Who is Michael McKee, ex-husband of Monique?" And I think it gives a little more insight into who this guy is, what he's all about. Yeah, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? You can't get away with anything these days. They can track the car. They obviously identified him, but also tracking the car. They were able to identify that he was in possession of the car, seen driving in the area, arriving and leaving. That's just amazing. It is amazing how technology is these days and what police can do to track suspect seen on video like this. Columbus Dispatch, the ex-husband of Monique Tepe has been charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with her death and that of her husband, Spencer Tepe. Michael David McKee of Chicago is being held by the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. Court records show Columbus police filed an arrest record January 10th, and he was booked shortly before noon. Just got booked today. Scheduled for hearing in a couple days. So it looks like there's going to be an extradition hearing in a couple days where he's going to face the charges. This is the history of what happened. According to court records, Columbus detectives identified the vehicle that had been in the area shortly before the couple was believed to have been unalived and leaving shortly thereafter. Court records say detectives tracked that vehicle down, locating it in Rockford, Illinois, and identified that McKee owned the vehicle. They nailed him. They nailed this guy. They nailed him. I mean, that to me is I don't know, that they nailed it. I'm sorry. So this is the timing. Here we go. January 5th, they released security cam footage from the alley, which we all saw. No forced entry, no obvious signs of a robbery. Now, if you think about it, and also I read somewhere that a neighbor heard a discussion outside shortly before the shootings, and that would make sense too, because when I heard that, I'm like, they must have known the person. And if that happened, she obviously knew him. And there must have been beforehand. So they said leading up to this, this is neighbor rumor. This is community rumor that happens a lot. But there was a neighbor who said that there was like a lead up to this. There were incidents leading up to this night where there was knocking on the door. There was like, and there was discussion outside. So this is going to come out in the trial, I'm sure. Exactly. I don't know if he had ever been there before. Maybe he had been in the house before. Maybe they were friends. Maybe they were actually fine and had relationships, and maybe they didn't even suspect this was going to happen. The fact that there was no break-in, that is wild. So who is Michael McKee? Medical licensure databases show McKee went to medical school at Ohio State University. He has active licenses as a vascular surgeon in Illinois and California. He had a license in Nevada, which lapsed in mid-2025. That's interesting. Clark County, Nevada court records show McKee is one of several doctors who were named on an ongoing personal injury lawsuit. That's interesting. Yes. Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. The ex was a doctor. He had active licenses as a vascular surgeon in Illinois and California. I didn't realize he was one of several doctors with an ongoing personal injury lawsuit. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Although his medical records show no disciplinary history in any of the states where he's practiced. He has no discernible criminal record, like I just said to you guys, outside of traffic tickets. At one time, he had a hunting license in Ohio. Unclear if that remains active or valid. McKee and Monique were married August 2015. She filed for divorce. That's interesting too. In May 2017, according to court records. He was listed as living in Virginia at the time, where he appears to have been attending surgical residency program. Exactly, Robin. That's another reason why when I heard people accusing him, I looked where he lived, Chicago, Illinois, and it's like, man, that's crazy distance to think about planning this out and going that distance to commit this kind of crime. It's insane. Court records show the couple was separated at the time of the divorce. So they had separated before the divorce, finalized a month later. Remember, the divorce was 2017, in May 2017. No indication in court records, and this also was why I didn't listen to community accusations, because they were all saying there was like accusations of violence. Court records show the couple was separated at the time of divorce. There was no indication in court records that there was any animosity between the couple. There was no indication that there was any animosity. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. And they didn't have any children, so that's usually that's another motive for something like this, is the guy or the woman or whatever, whichever side doesn't have custody. Oftentimes they want to get custody, and they're so desperate that they'll snap and sometimes go to this length. Children is not a motive either. They didn't have children together. So the docket for the divorce filing lists a mutual restraining order. This is standard in divorce. That's what confused people. They saw the mutual restraining order and they thought there was animosity. It's just a standard. It's standard in divorce cases, and prevents either party from accessing assets or bank accounts without going through court processes. If he felt like a loser and saw others happy, that's what. Yeah, I could see that. Murder Most Southern. Yeah, either a narcissist or depression. You know what I mean? I think if he did feel like a loser in some way, or just was down about his own life, and he's watching these social media pictures, like look at their social media, they look like one of the most happiest couples I've ever seen, and they had a great life together. And yeah, that would probably be hard if he wasn't having a great life. It's easier to get convicted for something you didn't do than get away. Yeah, yeah. Publicly available information shows McKee has family members in the Zanesville area. He attended Ohio State University. He played football, received academic honors. Doesn't seem like a bad guy. Doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's going to be held in Illinois until he's extradited to Ohio. He'll have a hearing in Franklin County. There's a, I don't know, man. This is just wild. It doesn't make any sense. I was shocked. I'm going to show you my thinking. Here's the thing. Like when I was researching this case, I almost went live a couple nights ago, you guys, because I'm like, I think that before I went live, what I was doing was digging into, like I said, their associates. And I was literally going on all their associates' social media accounts, their criminal records. I was looking for anything that showed I thought it was a affair. And I feel terrible about going down that road now that I know this happened, because obviously they didn't have an affair. Neither of them had an affair on one another. That's the direction I was going, because I didn't believe this guy could do it, because there's a lack of criminal record and the distance he lived from their home. Actually, that's a good point, Murder Most Southern. He could have been there seeing friends or family for Christmas. It's a really good point. And this is the type of stuff I was reading on Reddit around the ex-husband. One of the accusations, I'm just going to show you real quick. There were a lot of them. This is one example. One person, this was 8 days ago. Can you guys read this? Let me see if I can zoom in. Right? So one person's like, she was previously married for a very short time. People often go after the ex or the former relationship, right? That's just the most common thing. And so when I was scrolling down Reddit feeds and just looking for what people are saying out there, one person said apparently he's a Marine. How do you know he's a Marine? They deleted their comment. They bought their house over 5 years ago. The marriage was a long time ago. Exactly. The marriage was a long time ago. And they were married. The Tepes were married for 5 years. What's his name? Michael McKee. And this is what convinced me to not even look at the guy, because this person right here, he's a local doctor. Local meaning this person must live in the community. He's a local doctor in vascular medicine at Mount Carmel. I doubt it's him. They've been divorced for a while. She's been remarried for 5 years with 2 kids. She's been remarried for 5 years with 2 kids. It doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I agree, Rock and Robin. Thank God that he didn't. That he couldn't. He actually, that does point to a crime of passion. He shot Spencer multiple times, more times than Monique, which does point toward like extreme jealousy or anger that they had that relationship. He might have been extremely jealous of Spencer, maybe, because he was obviously the one that was mostly targeted. The fact that he didn't touch the children is interesting too, because it says that he didn't want to target the children. He only wanted to target the couple, and that was it. He had something against that couple specifically. In his mind, he had something against the couple. Um, yeah, that's what I think too. Real Rock and Robin. I years of it, like years of jealousy. Apparently, we don't know anything about the relationship with Michael and Monique, if they were still communicating. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really know yet. We're gonna find out, I'm sure, during the trial. Yes, exactly. I'm so glad for that. I mean, at least he had some morality left in him, even though he's unaliving people, that he didn't touch the children. You know, uh, thank God the children are okay. But the rage and jealousy thing, I agree. Real Rock and Robin, I think that's what it looks like. See if there's anything else out there. Arkansas police were able to identify through neighborhood surveillance footage. There's not a whole lot new other than the fact that surveillance footage and tracking the vehicle. He was reportedly tracked to a vehicle that arrived just before the shootings and left shortly thereafter. Booked on Saturday morning. Booked this morning. And he'll be in court on Monday. Man, I hope that's public. I want to cover this case, you guys. Now that I know that it is him, I think I want to cover this. I want to know what in the world his motive was, and I'm going to follow this. Hopefully, this is going to be live. It's not always, but we'll follow up and try to get a handle on what in the world this, or at least better awareness on what this guy's motive was. This doesn't make any sense to me. The family released a statement. Today's arrest, this is from the Tepe family. Today's arrest represents an important step toward justice for Monique and Spencer. Nothing can undo the devastating loss of 2 lives taken far too soon, but we're grateful to the City of Columbus Police Department, its investigators, and assisting law enforcement community whose tireless efforts helped capture the person involved. I got to be honest with you. Oh, it's not done. Sorry. We thank the community for the continued support, prayers, and compassion shown throughout this tragedy. As the case proceeds, we trust the justice system to hold the person personally responsible fully accountable. Monique and Spencer remain at the center of our hearts, and we carry forward their love as we surround and protect the 2 children they leave behind. We will continue to honor their lives and the light they brought into the world. Maybe I do think Smoky Mountain Robin. I do think that there is way more that is behind this case. Like, there's way more we don't know, because this doesn't make sense. And whether it's like they were still communicating, you know what I mean, through the years, and there was something that happened, Monique and Michael, maybe they were still communicating. I'm sure it's all going to come out. That's if they weren't communicating, this doesn't make any sense. Unless he's like this, unless he has such a severe mental issues that he was actually holding on to something for this long, from 2017 to 2024, for him to, like, they end it, and if there was no communication, he's holding on to it for that many years, and all of a sudden he snaps. That doesn't make any sense to me. If there's an ongoing relationship of some kind, if there's some communication going on of some kind, a lingering hope maybe in his mind that something can actually, when did they get married? Hold on a second. When did you guys are going to see how I work live. I go off on a rabbit trail This is how I got into it actually. How did Spencer? When did Spencer and Monique get married? I need to understand this. No, see, that doesn't make sense either. Spencer and Monique Tepe were married on December 13th, 2020. 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago. It's not like it just happened. You know what I mean? If it just happened, agreed, Murder Most Southern. Something would have had to have just happened. And if not, then it is a fact. It is an issue of extreme mental illness of some kind. Did the ex ever remarry? Good question. Did Michael McKee? I don't actually. Let's take a look at. I'm going to show you the place he lived, by the way, in Chicago. Where was that address? I think actually it was on the complaint. Let me check the complaint real quick. If we look at the complaint, oh, you know what? I know where I can find the answer to your question. In his public records, because they usually list, and I'm not going to share the screen because it does show sensitive information about a person in the public in the records. It's public, but I don't want to dox someone even though he's convicted. But anyway, I want to be sensitive to that. But I'm going to check relationships. Actually, so we've got a relative, a parent, relative. They'll say spouse. In-law, so there are in-laws listed, which are with the last name of Monique. So those are, I believe those, hold on a second. Is that right? Sabatursky. So I'm going to post the last name in, that's the last name of his in-laws. Listed as his in-laws. It's Sabatursky. What's her last name again? Her maiden name. She was previously married to David McKee. Shoot, I don't know what her maiden name is. I'm assuming that was her maiden name. Okay. So let's assume that was her maiden name. That are those are his in-laws, I think. I think her maiden name was okay. Thank you, CC. So those are the only in-laws listed, and it shows spouse divorced Monique on his records. It doesn't show any other spouse. So I think he was single. He didn't get remarried. That's true. The abuse would have been undocumented. There was no documented abuse. Even in the divorce, those accusations weren't there. So I don't think there was abuse. I could be wrong, but there's no record of it. It's not documented anywhere. Married in 2014. I'm not sure when they got married. McKee got married to her. That 2014 sounds probably right because they got divorced in 2017. I wonder. That's the other thing I wonder. What were the details around the divorce? You know what I mean? Was it the relationship with Spencer? She filed for divorce. So understanding the divorce details would be interesting too. I didn't look into that at all. About bet money there was, and she didn't report it. Probably there could. I mean, if you think about it, if he's the type of guy who will go to her and her new husband's house, and on a live, both of them, there's violence there. They said some people said he was a former Marine, so he would be trained, and he would be trained. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, thank you, Cece. You've done some research. Irreconcilable differences. That could be a very sensitive way of saying that they fought a lot, for sure. Oh, cool. Dental professional here in Ohio. Spencer works in an office near me. Interesting. I read don't go on Facebook. This is a huge. I bet it is. Yeah, you being in Ohio, I bet everyone's talking about this case right now. This must be shocking everyone. Like you must. I'm curious in the conversations you're hearing in Ohio. This news, or maybe it's not shocking anyone, and maybe you're all like, "Yeah, we kind of figured." There are people in the various forums I've seen on Reddit, on Facebook, everywhere, who have been defending. Some of them have been defending this guy up until now, which is fascinating to me. That now it turns out that it's actually true, that it is the ex. That's the reason I'm afraid of dentists. Dentists are fine. You just need to be numb. You just need to be numbed enough to not be afraid of dentists. Yeah, this was fast, you guys. December 30, they've got this video out. They're asking the public for help finding this person. January 10th, they've arrested someone like that. I am insanely impressed with the detectives that worked on this case. Like they worked fast. They nailed him in record time. I'm insanely impressed. I'm thinking Spencer and him may have, I'll be honest with you, Katie Jervis. One thing that I noticed when I was digging around social media and looking at their accounts, I'll show you one of the first things I did, which is kind of stupid, but I was like, because, like I said, I was looking at into their associates because I was curious about infidelity and that being a motive. And when I looked at Spencer's Facebook account, which by the way is beautiful, he doesn't share much. It's heartbreaking to look at Spencer's Facebook account, because look how beautiful this family is. Look how beautiful this family is. But I did notice, when you've got a picture like this, I'm like, okay, those are a lot of associates. Those are a lot of connections, people from the past. And it's interesting you say that, because they may have known each other in college. He had obviously had a bunch of buddies. He was in a fraternity, I believe. I found that out too. Spencer was in I even have the name of the fraternity. And they could have been in a similar fraternity. They could have been close friends. You're right. I think the details obviously are going to come out. We're going to learn more about all of the connections, the history. I'm going to take this down because I don't want people to accuse me of putting their faces up for too long. They went to OSU. Yeah. Katie Jervis, I'm sure all of you locally are talking about all of the theories and your ideas about the connections. I bet a lot of you know a whole lot more than anyone else too. A lot of the local folks who know these people, and the motive is the biggest thing everyone is curious about at this point. Now that we know it was the ex-husband, people were accusing him. Now we know most likely, and I'm going to say alleged. We know he's the one charged, innocent until proven guilty, obviously, right? But hey, Glenda, good to see you. It's wonderful to see you. But allegedly it's him, and if it is him, it'll come out in trial, obviously. But that's the question on everyone's mind tonight. Maybe Monique already knew who Spencer was, even though they met online. There's got to be a history here. The way they met, the way Monique met Spencer, she was married. She got remarried after she asked for a divorce. What's the timing of all these things that happened? Did she meet Spencer? Did she fall in love with someone else? Were they friends? Were Spencer and Michael friends? If they did know each other in college, then they were friends, and maybe something happened. Maybe Spencer took away his love. I don't know. I'm totally speculating, but that there's got to be something, maybe a love triangle of some sorts, and he could not let it go. Either I'm gonna go into I'm gonna speculate tonight. Two things. Either he couldn't let go from 2017 until 2025. Either he could not let go mentally and he snapped at some point, or there was communication. There was communication going on. You know what I mean? Like there was maybe lingering hope in his mind or something. He met Spencer. But did they get married in? Okay, so 2 years after she divorced him, she met Spencer in 2019. Do you know that for sure, Cece? I mean, is that like there's proof of that somewhere? Because that's interesting. That would mean there was an overlap with the previous marriage, which throws that theory out the window if what you're saying is true. Yeah. Yeah, agreed. That's a 2-year window. So that would mean there was not infidelity in that previous marriage or even a relationship of any sort. All right, you guys, follow this. This is an interesting case, and I'm surprised. I thought most of you actually followed this case because it's such a high profile one. And if you haven't followed it, it's one to follow because this is one of those cases where in my opinion, it's a perfect family. Like they look like a perfect family. They were happy. They had children. You look at the pictures. Let me show you some of these, you guys. It's like, where are they? Oh yeah. They were a beautiful couple. They looked so happy together. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. With 2 little children, they had the future ahead of them. And her long ago ex decides to do this. Every picture I see of this couple, it's like they were obviously madly in love. They were madly in love. They were happy together. And that's what the family all says too, when they described them, they said that they were sort of the glue of the family. They brought everyone together. And it's just, it's horrible. It's horrible that this happened to them. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. People start feeling like, especially if they're feeling lonely already during the holidays, it does bring that out. Absolutely. 100%. If they only knew each other. That's what I'm thinking. And that may come out, Katie Jervis. That may come out, I think. Whatever the connection was, whatever the motive was, the motive is going to come out at some point. And I'm not sure about the hearing on Monday may not reveal a whole lot about what happened here. But as the trial progresses, and I'm I want to cover it just because it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me that someone who seems like they have no history, no record of violence, no background, they're educated and they have no criminal background. And he has a career. And to do this, he destroyed his entire life. What was the reason? What was his motive? There's got to be something that made him snap. And it's going to be really interesting to follow this case and understand what happened here. I don't know if we'll ever understand it, because how do you understand something like this happening to this kind of family? But it's going to be interesting to follow. This is a short one tonight, just an hour, you guys. I wanted to cover this because this just happened today. Most of our lives aren't about unalivings. They're about missing people. We are covering some more true crime. We do occasionally a true crime headlines every so often, Jen does a bunch of research about true crime. We're primarily a missing persons channel and an outdoor adventure channel. But I am a diehard researcher. Like when I get my claws into something that I'm curious about, I can't stop thinking about it. And this was one of those cases. I couldn't stop thinking about it because of this type of couple, this type of family, the small children. Yes, very beautiful couple. And the fact that children were involved and they were left behind, it killed me. And I wanted to see if there was some kind of pattern, something that might lead to I don't know who could have done this. I think we're beyond that now. Obviously we know who was arrested. Now it's just a matter of following the case, seeing what happens here. I'm pretty sure that the police have, from the description, they have solid evidence, you guys. They have solid evidence. The vehicle that arrived, he was in possession. The vehicle that left, he was in possession. And they're gonna in court, they're gonna look at the video. They're gonna analyze his height, his gait, everything about him that lines up with the person in that video. And that's going to be part of the evidence. Of course, the vehicle is going to be part of the evidence. I think he's in a mess. His life is in a mess. And the only thing that will come out of this is understanding the mentality, understanding how someone with no criminal record, who seems perfectly normal, who I guess has a military background, who is a Marine, I think, if that's true too, can snap, unless he was suffering from PTSD, which could explain a lot. So, and there could have been Katie Jervis, there could have been cameras inside the home too. Absolutely. I mean, there's probably evidence out there that we don't even know about, where they captured additional evidence that led them to him. But the nail in the coffin was absolutely the vehicle, no question. So let's see. We are having a hard time, you guys, with motivation this time of year. It's the daylight hours have shrunk down so much that we have very little time to do the type of stuff we normally do, which is being out in the wild, being out there searching. I have asked for permission of a private. Sorry, let me get rid of this. Of a private residence near the around the Ben Hill property in the Summer Wells case, to drone the what's it called, Possum Hollow area in the Summer Wells case. It's an area that I've been dying to get to, and I'm waiting for an answer. I've been going back and forth with this person. You all know who the person is, but I'm not going to say because I don't want to put them on the spot. But I'm trying to convince them to let me launch the drone from their property, not filming their property, and let me search. So I'm hoping to get a search in the Summer Wells case. That's one that I've been trying to do for a very long time. And we'll see if that happens. Yeah, it's dark. Today was so dark. Yep, we have a video coming out tomorrow. That was a huge video. Glenn, who's in chat here, helped us search Viking Mountain for Jennifer Elliott. And at the end of the search, it doesn't end like our normal searches. We ended up getting at the end of the search, and both Glenn and I were like, this doesn't feel right. Something's wrong with this case. It doesn't feel right. And I went home and I did a bunch of research. And so the end of that search actually ends up with me continuing to do some research. And I think I discovered something in the Jennifer Elliott case. She's a woman who went missing in Greenville on Viking Mountain. She was staying there with her homeless boyfriend. Her and her boyfriend were homeless, and he was being abusive to her, allegedly. And she ran into the woods and she disappeared. And I discovered something that shocked me at the end of that case in her records. I'm not going to share it here, but just watch it tomorrow. Watch it tomorrow. It's a shocking ending. It's a surprise ending. It's one of my favorite videos, I think, so far, because I feel like we have an answer. I feel like we have an answer in that case, and it's something that I can't share details about because it could impact her life, her story. You'll see. Watch it tomorrow. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it, please. And thank you, Glenn, so much for your help with these searches. Your unbelievable motivation to be here with us, to be there with me on those searches. It's always nice to have someone who can keep up with me. So thank you. We are going to try to do another live early next week with Jen with me, and I'm not sure what we're going to cover. I'd love to have ideas from you all. Any of you here tonight, leave a comment, or anybody watching, if there's anything you would like us to follow up on, any information on the Samuels case, any information on Jennifer Santinello and Layla Santinello case, any of the cases we cover, if there's just new stories you'd love to see us get into, please check it out. Please let us know. And if you are not subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Come on. We cover so much cool stuff, you guys. We also don't just do missing persons cases. We do adventures every now and then by Boy Scout. And we cover true crime. We do cover true crime. If you don't know why I cover true crime, please go look at my video called The Shocking Truth About Ryan and Why He Searches for Missing Children. You'll understand after watching that video my obsession with research into any mystery, and true crime is about mysteries. And I'm obsessed with research. I love research. I dig very deep. A lot of times I shock people with how far I go into the weeds to get to the truth. And sometimes I luck out and I come across the truth that many people have missed, and it's exciting. And that's kind of what drives me, is to get to the truth. Ryan Finds Truth. That's the name of the channel. And sometimes we do it. This case, we didn't get to the truth because the cops got there first, obviously. A lot of people were trying to get to the truth on this one. So thank you so much. I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah, Moon is a game changer for us. His car was on the neighbor's Ring camera. Oh, it was the neighbor's Ring camera. I thought it was theirs. They had mutual restraining order from divorce. I heard the restraining order wasn't true. Like the news said, there was no animosity in the divorce proceedings, the divorce documents. A lot of people were saying that mutual restraining order claim, and it wasn't true. Like there's no documentation of animosity in the divorce. They did say that the restraining order, the mutual restraining order, is a standard practice in divorces. So but she paid for her rings in the first marriage. I also divorced someone who texted me the day of my next wedding. Interesting. Yeah, that's a sign of obsession, isn't it? Like they're watching you until you get married and then they text you. That's kind of creepy. I just saw it on Fox News. It was just them both, and they showed the paper. Interesting. Yeah. The truth will come to light in this case. If you haven't heard about it before, I'm telling you, put it on your radar, because this is one of those cases that's going to be twists and turns, and it's not going to make any sense, in my opinion. I think the backstory is crazy. I think that whatever caused this guy to do this, it's not anything anybody would ever suspect or think, and it's going to come out in the court case, I'm sure. Most of us divorced did not have a standard restraining order. Okay. But he texted me a Robert. Wow. Yeah, that's a little bit of obsession there. That's crazy. You don't know who's stalking you, right? Like from your past relationships, they're kind of watching, and then they see all of a sudden you're getting married, and then they come out of the woodwork, I guess. At least the crazies. It's like it's over by that point. Why would they care? Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think this case is going to be a 2020. I believe it's going to be one of those high profile cases. Yep. I think it would be a Dateline. It's going to be fascinating. If you don't follow it, you guys. Follow the court case. This is going to have twists and turns, and it's going to be crazy. So I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I just wanted to do a quick live to cover this news, you guys. Thank you for joining, all of you from our tribe. All of you who are new, thank you for coming in here tonight to take a quick look at this news, this case. Please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I'm going to keep saying that. We love having new people in the tribe, and if you like what we do, we'd love to have you with us. In every single adventure, every single search, every single mystery we research, and of course, every single live. We love having more people with us. Thank you for joining us tonight, you guys. We will, like I said, we're going to be live again next week, hopefully with Jen. I'm not sure what we're going to cover yet, but I'll announce it at some point early in the week. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, T and Twister. I hope you guys have a good Saturday night. This has been interesting. And I hope you have a good Sunday. Take care of yourself, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad you found us too. I love seeing new people here. It's always fun. Okay. I'm going to stop blabbering. Thank you guys. Love you all so much. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, members. I just want to say that real quick. I didn't say it at the beginning. Love you, members, for supporting us. You guys support our searches every single month as members, and I can't tell you how much that helps us, and we appreciate that so much. I don't think we could do what we do without our members. I don't think we could. We couldn't afford it. We just could not do what we do without ongoing support of our members. We love you so much. We love our subscribers too. Everyone in our tribe, we love you for sharing, for coming to these lives, for viewing our videos, for sharing our videos, and just supporting everything we do along the way. Love you all so much. Appreciate you all. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Love you all. And we'll see you next time.